And we're now joined by the MEC of Education in Gauteng, MEC Matome Chiloane. MEC, good morning, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it. The department has received just over 820,000 applications for grade 1 and grade 8 placements in the province. What is the projected number of applications that the department expects to receive by the end of December, when the second round of applications will be opened and closed?
Good evening to you and good evening to you. Thank you again. Generally, for late applications, we usually get about 40,000, an additional 40,000 unique applications. But the thing about the late application is that when the parent applies, they only apply to a school they find in the system and the spaces. So they don't have choices like the parents that came earlier with this initial admission period. Those ones were able to select their preferred schools. But for late application, they just apply to whatever school they find in the system. So we get about 40,000, if not more, but generally average about 40.
Yeah, perhaps this is the real elephant in the room. Just yesterday, you had thanked the president for signing the BELA Act bill into act. In what ways will the Basic Amendment Laws Act change the way that school placements are done in the province, given that Gauteng is the first province to have an automated placement program, and that way it democratizes access to education, albeit Clause 4 of the Act, which speaks about admission policies, has been suspended for 3 months. But when the suspension is lifted, in what ways do you think it may affect school placements?
Look, for now, it's not really an issue. Obviously, we are waiting for the 3 months or 90 days rather. By the way, it's a countdown. It's 87 days left. So these 87 days that are left. However, as soon as the 90-day lapses, it will allow us an opportunity to come into schools that in the past they were giving us problems, taking us to courts, and the SGB prohibiting us to really influence the language policy properly. Although they were engaging some of the schools, a majority of them were fine. We were able to find them. But with admission, then it allows greater scrutiny as a department into those schools as to where are the spaces. Are there additional classrooms we can find in those spaces? Because in the past, the SGBs will really prohibit, they will make it very difficult for the department to really come into the school and check and verify if there are proper spaces. And also remember that admission also lied largely with the SGBs. So now the HOD will be able to intervene in that case. So it will assist us a lot. We are looking forward to it as a province.
It's surprising to me that you mentioned that certain SGBs have prevented the department from coming into those schools to see if there are any placements that they can direct to those schools if there is additional capacity. Do you have a sense now, perhaps audited or not, about the capacity of each school in the province?
Yes, we have a sense. I remember when this admission process, what we do, we obviously engage schools and check how much space do they have for grade 1 if it's a primary school, and high school grade 8. And they are able to communicate to the department that we've got capacity to take 200 or 240 learners for grade 1. However, the challenge was always going to verify these particular spaces. So it was a social contract between the department and the school. Now we will be able to. The Act enables us to go and verify.
Just to pause you there, why has it been a difficulty to go and verify? Surely, if it's a school that the department has oversight over, you can just send an official to the school and say, hey, go and count the number of classroom desks and teachers at the school and come and let us know if these numbers correlate with what the school submitted to us. Did the school keep you out of the premises? What exactly was the difficulty there?
No. I'm not saying that we don't have control or oversight. Yes, we would go there and check. But you know, some schools, what they will do, they will take a classroom and convert it into a recreational center, you know, so that we can continue to control and cap the number of learners that we place. So now with this one, we are able to even enforce it gives us greater enforcement in ensuring that we place more learners. Instead of being kept by the SGB refusing, then we're remaining with 200 learners only. We'll be able to enforce based, obviously being rational. We're quite rational. We don't want to compromise the quality of teaching and learning, but we do believe that obviously with us being able to greater enforce the admission process, it will allow us to create more spaces for learners to go into certain schools. And others were using language, such as a single medium school, African single medium school. And those are some of that's where the issues that were. And for us in Gauteng, we've always been consistent about the language issue. To say we can't have one school, a school that just caters for one language. When Gauteng is a province where all languages, it's a cosmo province where everyone is here. So all languages are catered. There's no single community that speaks one language anywhere in our province. So we can't have such schools.
MEC, how many schools do we have in Gauteng, and how many of them are still Afrikaans medium schools?
Well, the number of schools were sitting at 2,000, just over 2,200. But in terms of, if you're saying African single medium, I'll have to come back to you. But there are not many, but spaces are spaces. And as you bring in the dual language, schools introduce English or introduce Sotho or Sepedi in those schools, automatically you'll be increasing learning spaces in spaces for learners.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying. So with that, with the president obviously waiting for the 90 days or 87 days, we know that with the introduction of certain languages in certain schools, it will increase our capacity.
To what extent would it positively affect school placements, especially for parents who've had problems in the past about school placements close to them? Some of them have had to send their children, have their children placed in schools far away that doesn't correlate with their district or their addresses. In what ways will it fix that problem?
Yes, that's exactly what we want to address. That's exactly what the Act will address. You have a parent where a child now stays in a particular area, but the language is a problem. So the child, maybe, for example, a home language is Zulu. Now we have to find the child a Zulu school, and which might be far. But now with this particular act, we'll be able to look at the population dynamic of the area and determine that which additional language should we add into that school so that we accommodate the population in that particular area.
Yeah.
So there will be a positive spin-off. Look, ultimately it's about social cohesion.
Absolutely.
As well. Yes.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it there. MEC, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. MEC Matome Chiloane, the MEC of Education in Gauteng.